Hi, and welcome to Amber in the Kitchen. Today we are going to have fun making tapioca balls, also known as boba, with Thai tea. So over here I've already got my Thai tea brewing in the red pot. And that is, I just fill up a pitcher that I'm going to be serving it in with water, put in my pot, and then I measure 2 cups of sugar. So you're making sweet tea basically. But 2 cups of sugar with the water for 1 pitcher, and then the Thai tea. So I got this online. I'll link below in the description. But it's really easy, guys, to make your own Thai tea at home. So even if you don't like the boba part, the Thai tea is amazing. And I use this tea ball to brew it. It's a really good size one. I have 2, so I'm showing you the empty one. The full one's in there brewing. And I can let that sit up to overnight to get a really good strong brew. And I don't really have, I've never noticed like an overly strong tannin or anything like that. So it's okay to let it sit longer than a normal tea, if that makes sense. So it won't get like extra bitter or anything. Okay, so that's the Thai tea part. Now for the boba part. So I've got water. It's about a 1/4 cup of water here, and we're just going to be heating it with the sugar. And I bought this special sugar. It's a type of brown sugar. It's called muscovado sugar, and it's really it's used in Asian cultures mostly. I haven't seen anything online about European cultures really using it, but it's a really dark brown sugar. So if you don't want to spend the extra money on the muscovado sugar, you can substitute dark brown sugar, and then possibly even add a little bit of extra molasses to that if you want to get it really dark. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat on here. We're going to dissolve our sugar into our water, and then we'll be adding tapioca starch or tapioca flour. Now, the tapioca flour I've used in the past was from the Asian market, 99 Ranch Market. If you have one of those nearby, just run over there and grab it. And I have seen tapioca starch at my H-E-B, but when I went to go buy it, they were out because, I don't know, COVID-19 problems or something. I'm not sure why. So I had to order online, and my husband picked up this organic tapioca flour. I have noticed it's a little grainier on the feel than the regular tapioca starch I would get. So, and I have made this recipe a couple of times already. It's not coming out as soft on the pre-cooked version as I would like. So, but the other thing is I've used recipes that use measuring cups for the ingredients, and I'm wondering if that's been a problem. Like maybe I had too much tapioca starch. So I went ahead and used a recipe that measured all the ingredients. So I will link below in the description the different recipes that I have used to make boba recently, and you guys can kind of decide for yourself what you think after the video, which one you want to use. But this one is the one that's measured out all the ingredients by weight. So it was 90 grams of tapioca. It was, I want to say 45 grams of the muscovado sugar or brown sugar, and 65 grams of water. So the 65 grams turned out to be about a 1/4 cup of water. This looks to me to be somewhere between a 1/2 cup and a full cup, so maybe like a 3/4 cup. I'm not really sure. And the muscovado sugar looks maybe like a 1/4 cup. So, yeah, I don't know. So this is getting warm, and then we're going to just kind of put a small scoop of our tapioca into that boiling water. Okay, it's just starting to boil. So I'm going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to add a scoop of tapioca and stir that. Okay, and we're trying to not make lumps in our liquid here. Okay. So ideally, I don't know, guys, we'll see. So, and then it's gonna thicken because tapioca starch gets thick fast. So I have an electric stove, but I'm not gonna turn the burner on again because it's still pretty hot. Ouch, I just kind of got some hot sticky syrup on my finger. That hurt. But I'm gonna use the heat here since I've incorporated the flour. I'm gonna put it back on the heat to get it extra thick. Okay, so we've got some thickness happening here. You can see it's thick now. And a little bit more. So I kind of like threw it in there so it's not just like one clump of flour, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be a chunk of flour. I want it to be a smooth sauce type consistency. Okay, so that got thick fast with that extra scoop. Okay, so now the rest of this process you don't need the burner for. So you make this kind of thick start of and then you're supposed to pour all of this in and stir that up. And it's gonna feel like it's a lot, but it will all get incorporated. And with the other recipes that I made, I feel like maybe I had too much starch, but we'll see how this goes. I think it might be the type of starch I have too. So, but the good thing is, even though it feels really weird when you're making it with this starch, it still cooks up wonderfully. So that's good. Okay, so while I am doing this, I was going to talk to you guys also about the other way to do this, which is to buy pre-made, preformed boba balls, and then you can just boil them. So that is a very tempting route to go. I'm not going to lie. I've done it before, and it works out well. But what I have noticed is that they can have a little bit of a firmer, harder texture. So if you're a big texture person, it's probably going to be worth it for you to make your own boba pearls from scratch. Okay, so here we go, guys. I'm going to stick this here. I have a spoon rest. I'm going to use a spoon rest. Okay, and then we're going to put it out on the counter and knead it a little bit. So let me move my camera so you guys can see. This is our little dough here. And yes, this already feels a lot softer than the other recipes I had tried with the measuring cup. So I'm recommending doing the recipe with the weight by weight. It's much softer. Or the other option, if you don't have a kitchen scale, is to use the recipe with the measuring cups, but don't add in all your flour at once. Okay, this is so much nicer, you guys. If you add too much starch, it's really hard to work with. It will still cook up fine, but it's difficult to knead and to roll out. Okay, so that looks pretty well incorporated to me. So it should be soft and squishy, not too firm, but firm. Firmer than Play-Doh, if that helps. Anybody who's messed around with Play-Doh as a kid knows how firm Play-Doh is. So it's firmer than Play-Doh, but it still has give to it. Okay, and then you can just use a butter knife and cut like that. And then I'm gonna put this bowl on top of that so it keeps it from drying out too much. But then just like Play-Doh, as a kid, you're gonna be making snakes with this. And then we're gonna cut them and make them into balls. So you wanna make them kind of smallish. Okay. So that they will fit up your boba straw. Now, if you don't have boba straws, if you have an Asian shopping center nearby, you can pick them up there, or I will link some below, and you guys can get some if you need them. And then I'm just gonna try this 2 at a time. Not bad. Okay. So you get the idea here. Okay, so I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me do all of this dough, but that's the concept, the idea. If they're not perfectly round, it's okay. As you're putting more boba into your bowl, you can dust it with more tapioca starch so that it doesn't stick and all become one giant ball of boba again. But these are so soft, you guys. Fresh from scratch boba is worth the little bit of effort that it takes. Not gonna lie, it is a little bit time consuming. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing this dough, and I'll be back with a pot of boiling water and show you how to get that going. And then we'll take another break because it takes like 40 minutes to cook. And that's just a long time for a video. So we're just going to cut it short, and you'll see the results with the Thai tea, and I'll do a taste test. And I'm going to be also cooking up the pre-made kind. So we'll kind of do a little taste comparison at the end of the video. Stick around, and we'll be back. All right.